It's nice to meet you all. I'm Anisa Nisapi, an assistant professor at the Department of English, Safi Institute of Advanced Study, Warrior. I'm here today to give you an overview of the text, Ways with Words, Literatures in English, which is a prescribed text for the first year undergraduate students under the University of Calicut. It's more like giving you an idea about what are the texts you're going to study in this semester. So without further ado, let's get into it.
The full title of our text is Ways with Words, Literatures in English. In this particular text, we have 4 sessions to study. First one is poetry. In that session, we have sonnet number 29, which is written by William Shakespeare. This is a 14-lined poem, hence called a sonnet. It discusses speaker's disillusion, loneliness, and his overall disappointment in life. The second poem is Ode to Autumn. This is written by one of the most famous romantic poets, John Keats. As the name suggests, the poem is about the season autumn. It is primarily about the acceptance of death and the rebirth it follows. The next, we have A Roadside Stand. Written by Robert Frost, the poem is a critique of modernism. The speaker empathizes with the neglected farmers who are struggling to figure the ways of city life. And then we have The House of My Childhood. This nostalgic autobiographical little poem is written by Dilip Chitre. Set in the background of his ancestral home, the speaker is trying to recollect the memories of his bygone days. And Old Folks Laugh. The poem insanely sketches the physical and mental appearances and features of old generation. A golden piece of literature written by Maya Angelou, it celebrates the old age through beautiful lines. And then we have the poem Once Upon a Time. A poem which mourns on the loss of childhood innocence and cultural changes after colonization is written by Gabriel Okara, a Nigerian post-colonial poet. Starting with the typical fairy tale sentence, once upon a time, the poem reminisces happier and lighter old days and ends with a hope for a happy ending. The next poem is The Times They Are A-Changing. This is a legendary song that came out in the backdrop of civil rights movement and hippie or folk music movement. The poet Bob Dylan calls it as a song with a purpose and calls out to people to stand united against injustices. The next session we have a short story session. The first one in that particular session is Appointment in Samara. The story is a retelling of an old Arabian tale. Somerset Maugham, the writer, included this tale at the end of his play Sheppey. The story explores the theme of fatalism and the inevitability of death. The second short story is A Shocking Accident. Written by Graham Greene, this short story is very famous for its use of technique of dark humor. Through the treatment of death as a comic incident, different from its usual shade of tragedy, it explores the theme of existentialism. The next short story is Lamb to the Slaughter. A short story which is full of ironies and funny puns. Roald Dahl's work throws light on the gender relations and expectation that was prevalent in 1960s England. The last short story is It Used to Be Green Once. This story tells about the ordinary everyday lives of Maori community in New Zealand. Patricia Gray's work carefully examines the differences between younger and older generations in their approach towards possessions. The next session is prose session. There we have an essay called Bores. This humorous piece of essay is written by E.V. Lucas. It talks about the universal problem of human race, imposing too much on others and becoming a bore. He explains how and why someone becomes a bore and what are the methods we can use to get rid of such bores. The last essay we have to study in this session is Night Walkers and Mystery Mongers, Sense and Nonsense at the Edge of Science. In this scientific essay, Carl Sagan discusses things that are at the edge of science and pseudoscience. He asks the scientists to not dismiss such claims but to research upon them and explain it to the public because science is the best solution against superstitions. The last session is one-night plays. We have only one word to study there, that is something unspoken. This play evolves around two characters, Miss Grace and Miss Cornelia. It shows us Cornelia's inability to establish expressive or spontaneous relationships with others due to her pretension, pomposity and pride.
Yep, that's it. These are all the works that you're going to study in this semester. And believe me, there are some pretty amazing stories, poems and essays waiting for us to get explored. We'll have fun together. Until then, stay safe, have fun, take care.